Please. Okay, I think we're live.
Very good. Good afternoon from CTW Towers here in Ajuda in Lisbon, Portugal. This is our live feedback show for Facebook, and we're going to do a number of interviews this afternoon, so I'm going to leave my staff with it.
Do they even know who's coming on the interview?
I don't care. I've paid for this, so get on with it.
All right.
Cheers.
Então, bem-vindos, caros espectadores. O meu nome é Luís Manuel e estou convosco em mais um Facebook Live, em mais uma transmissão do Facebook, a partir da página do Facebook da CTWRESTLING. Hoje vamos ter connosco Ophidian numa entrevista breve, e ele brevemente também se vai juntar a nós após a promoção do que vai acontecer amanhã aqui na Ajuda. Ora bem, amanhã, dia 15 de julho, vamos ter mais um show, mais um dos grandes shows do CTWRESTLING, vai ser aqui na Ajuda. Vai contar com a presença de Eibach, Elmer, do Art Flyer, do português Super Kid, de Symbiote e, claro, como não poderia deixar de ser, do grande Ophidian, o treinador da Chikara Wrestle Factory. Não se esqueçam também que os bilhetes voam rápido, os bilhetes esgotam rápido e, portanto, amanhã aconselho-vos a chegar mais cedo. As portas abrem às 5, mas aconselhava a chegar uns 15 minutinhos mais cedo, talvez, para arranjar bilhetes. Os bilhetes vão de 5 a 10 euros. Com os 10 euros, obviamente, conseguem um meet and greet com os lutadores. Portanto, quem quiser um meet and greet com o Ophidian pode tê-lo. Compra o bilhete Gold, o bilhete de 10 euros, e no final do espetáculo pode ter um encontro e pode ter autógrafos, pode ter fotografias, tudo o que quiser ao Ophidian. Como podem ver, a nossa arena está a começar a ficar pronta, prontíssima para amanhã. Já sabem, às 5 horas abrem as portas e é só juntarem-se, virem cá, aqui na Ajuda, Rua Dom Vasco, número 67 e número 69. Apanhem o 760 se não tiverem carro, ou o 18, e subam até aqui. O 742 também passa por aqui, por isso não faltam transportes. Isto é à beira do IC17, não há desculpas para não virem, especialmente porque tem aqui o Ophidian. Convém também relembrar as rivalidades que temos para este espetáculo. Na passada sexta-feira, no último CTWRESTLING Live, teve um fim abrupto com um ataque de Leo Rossi a Red Eagle. Todos vimos isso. Eu próprio estava aqui, pessoalmente eu vi acontecer. E depois, mais tarde, no domingo, no final do show do domingo, na Praça Paiva Couceiro, vimos também um ataque de Leo Rossi no final, que deixou Red Eagle com um ombro lastimado. Ainda teve que passar a noite no Hospital Santa Maria, mas já disse que vai lutar. E como podemos ver, quem acompanha, se quem não sabe ainda, eu vou voltar a dizer, David Curl não gostou da atitude, deu uma multa a Leo Rossi e fez acontecer, e vai fazer acontecer, um tag team, um main event. E tanto Leo Rossi como Red Eagle têm que escolher os seus parceiros. Leo Rossi já escolheu, obviamente vai ser Eibach, da APC, francês, quase 2 metros, um gigante, bruto. E só por ela faz um par bom com Leo Rossi. E só falta saber quem será o par de Red Eagle. Quem sabe até hoje, até ao final de hoje, se vai saber. Por isso estejam atentos, fiquem ligados, que certamente irão saber. Quanto à Cláudia e à Thalia, uma rivalidade acesa, muito acesa, com muito fogo, ainda não sabemos o que é que vai acontecer. Amanhã tem que vir cá, tem que vir cá ver o que é que vai acontecer, porque seja o que for, aquela rivalidade está tão acesa que coisa boa sairá de certeza absoluta. Também o resto dos combates poderão vir cá e venham cá e vejam o que é que vai acontecer. É uma surpresa, é sempre uma surpresa. O CTW tem sempre surpresas. Há duas coisas que são certas no CTWRESTLING, que é bons combates, bom wrestling e surpresas. Portanto, venham cá e venham ver o nosso espetáculo. Não se esqueçam que também, dia 7 de outubro, temos o espetáculo na Baixa da Banheira. Vamos estar outra vez na Baixa da Banheira. Não se esqueçam, 7 de outubro, e esperamos que vocês lá vão e vejam o nosso espetáculo também na Baixa da Banheira, que também temos que ir à Margem Sul. A Margem Sul é sempre um bom sítio para ir. É um sítio que acolhe sempre muito bem para o wrestling e especialmente o CTWRESTLING, por isso apareçam lá. Não se esqueçam, amanhã, 5 horas, as portas abrem. Hoje também temos o seminário, começa obviamente às 7h30. Não sei se conseguem vir, mas eu se calhar puxo uns cordelinhos e talvez consiga arranjar mais 1 ou 2 lugares. Para quem quiser juntar-se a nós no seminário de hoje, não se esqueçam, 7h30 da tarde. Quem quiser vir, pode vir ao seminário. É só aparecerem. Se calhar consigo arranjar mais 2 lugarzinhos. 2, 3, talvez. Querem vir? Venham, apareçam e treinem com o treinador da CTWRESTLING Factory, o Ophidian, que se há de juntar a nós muito brevemente. Maybe we should call him. Ophidian? Where is he? God dang it, I never know where he is.
Hello, 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 friends.
There he is. Okay. Hi, Ophidian. Mr. Ophidian, how are you doing? Is the camera good for you? Is everything good? Yeah?
I look good in the camera, so it's all okay with me.
Okay, I do agree. I cannot not agree with that. So maybe we'll start with our first question. Ophidian, could you please tell me who Ophidian is? Tell me and the people who Ophidian is.
I'm a man, I'm a creature, I am a snake that goes by many names. I am the venomous and vile serpent from the Nile, the one and only master of snake style. The Cobra, SuperNova, Ophidian. For those that aren't aware of me, as you've already stated, I am from Chikara Pro primarily, but I've traveled all over the world, performed on 4 continents in over 12 countries, perfecting my craft, my style of lucha libre known as snake style. I'm also one of the trainers at the Chikara Wrestle Factory.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you have traveled to many places, many lands, many countries. But what are your thoughts on Portugal so far?
I got to come to Portugal a few days early, and it's beautiful. I would have never come to Portugal otherwise if it wasn't for CTW, and I regret that. After seeing Lisbon and going to the beaches in Estoril and going out to Sintra and everywhere I've been, everything I've seen, Portugal has so much life, so much character to it. I wish, I'm happy I'm here now, but I wish I would have known about it beforehand. I feel like the world doesn't give enough credit to Portugal for being such a beautiful country.
Okay, and you've trained with us yesterday, right? But before that, could you please tell the people for how long have you been doing pro wrestling as a living?
I started my career in 2006 with Chikara, and throughout the years, I've been able to learn and perfect and train under guys like Cesaro and Cassius Ono and Mike Quackenbush and Jorge Skydo Rivera and El Bandera and so many more. And it wasn't until later in life when I formed a company with my wife, Closet Champion, where I was able to take wrestling full on. Okay. I'm in many aspects of professional wrestling. Along with my wife, we make masks and gear, and we produce content similar to what you guys are watching now for social media and for pro wrestling. I also obviously perform as well, and we've been lucky enough together to be able to do that for years now.
Okay, so for how long have you been a coach, and what do you think? What are your thoughts on being a coach and training people and teaching people the art of pro wrestling?
It's not something I realized would happen, but after I started teaching and after I started training the next generation, I realized how much I really loved encouraging, right? How much I really love bestowing knowledge onto the next generation. I almost enjoy teaching more than I enjoy wrestling. Okay. And not because I don't enjoy wrestling, but there's a level of satisfaction and gratification you get from teaching that has no equal, in the ring. I've been doing it now for 3 years, and I also now lucky enough to teach all over the world.
Okay, I think we're live now. We're back live. Yeah, we are back live. I don't think if people heard, but you are somewhat of a global teacher, a global
Yes.
trainer, and it's got to be the biggest and greatest satisfaction to see someone that you've trained become successful, right?
Yes. Even now, as I'm here on the road in Europe, I'm getting updates from my students and talking to them about the things they're doing back at home, and it's always exciting. It's sad that I can't be there to watch them succeed, but I'm also happy to be here.
Okay. It's kind of like having various sons, right? Various
Yes.
children. Yes. So yesterday you have trained with us. A little train you gave us yesterday. What are your thoughts on our company or on CD Wrestling, of our trainees? How did they fare? How do you think we're on right now?
It's hard to not be in the ring for me. There's nothing I enjoy more in life than being inside of a wrestling ring. So any chance I get any opportunity I get to be in one, I will be. So yesterday was an impromptu training session, and I got to roll around with some of your guys, like you said. And it's great to see that. Let me take a step back. To me, professional wrestling is a universal language. When you're learning professional wrestling, when you're learning this art form, when you're learning the body of language, right, you're learning a new body of language. You're learning how to speak with your body. And it's always amazing to me to see how well I can communicate with others that don't speak the same language as me when it comes to, English or Portuguese, but we do speak wrestling together, and our bodies can communicate in a manner that we would never be able to communicate verbally.
If it weren't for wrestling. Yeah.
If it weren't for wrestling. And it's great to see that translate into, here in Portugal, just as much as it does anywhere else in the world. The guys fared well. The way we train in Chikara, the things that we teach, aren't necessarily taught in other schools or in other parts of the world. So it's not a matter of whether or not you do well or you don't do well, right? Because the performers here know how to perform, they know how to wrestle, they know how to fight. It's a matter of learning a new set of words, right? A new part of the language that they didn't have access to otherwise. And in that aspect, I think they all learned something new.
Something new, yeah. I mean, it's impossible not to learn something new with such a great wrestler and an experienced wrestler as you. Tell me about today's seminar. I mean, what can our trainees expect from your seminar today?
It's pretty hot here in Lisbon, so they can expect to sweat a lot. Lots of sweating is on tap today. I think one of the things that, if I can toot my own horn for a second, one of the things that I'm extremely good at is body control. Specifically, I like the term body agency, which means I have control and I can manage my momentum. I can move my body. I can tell it what to do, and it listens. And what they're going to get a lot of is things geared towards that. Learning how to manipulate and control momentum, and learning how to control your own body so that you can create new forms of art in the ring. So you can speak new words in this language that we call professional wrestling. It's going to be a lot of that, as well as understanding and learning how to navigate the world with the persona that you choose to present.
Okay, so that means that whoever likes to wrestle must be here today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's he's telling you to come, you better come. You don't say no to Ophidian. I mean, I wouldn't do it. So
No, get hypnotized into coming.
So you talked about your tour. How's it been going? It's been going for 5 weeks, right?
I've been on the road now for 5 weeks throughout England, the Channel Islands, Germany, Denmark, Spain, and now Portugal. The longest, the most varied tour I've ever done. I've been on the road this long before, but I've never visited this many countries in this short of a time span. And it's been one of the best tours of my life, without a doubt. And this is, with no doubt, the best way to end it. And this is not me just saying it because I'm here in Portugal, and I'm here amongst the crew, but Lisbon has been the most beautiful place I've seen while on this tour.
Is it your first time in Europe?
No, this is my fifth.
Fifth time in Europe, so you're an experienced European, I see. So I think we should take a look at some of the questions that we've been presented with.
Sure.
Are you okay with answering some
Let's do
questions? Kate Nix asks, what is something you learned while teaching others during your trip?
Well, hello, Kate. That is my wife.
Oh, that is your wife. Okay, hello, Kate.
Hello, wife. One of the things you learn when teaching people teaching people that don't speak the language you natively speak, right, is learning how to emote with your body and speak using your hands, your eyes, your face, your feet, your body. So learning new ways to communicate with not just my mouth, but learning new ways to communicate with my body so that you understand, or anybody else training with me understands what it is I'm trying to teach them. And it can be a bit frustrating, obviously, when you're trying to teach somebody something new that they can get, they understand if we only just spoke the same words, So learning how to adapt and teach you without speaking to you. I learn new ways to do that every single time I'm on the road, and this trip has been no different. I think that is the thing I take away most from teaching others on the road.
Miguel Guerrero has a question. What is it like for you starting out wrestling? Some people have a lot of difficulty in the physical stuff. Was it easy for you? And Andy further asks, how did you come up with your persona?
I'll say this. In my first month of professional wrestling, I was injured by Cesaro. Not on purpose, accidentally. Because I weighed so little, I was about 30 pounds lighter. I don't know how much that equates to kilograms, but I was definitely a lot smaller. I was a lot thinner. So it was easy to throw around, and I landed on the turnbuckle post when we were practicing movements, and busted my leg open. I needed 15 staples to close my leg, and that was just within the first month of professional wrestling.
That was a hot start.
Yeah, it was a great way to start training. And that was how I began wrestling, was injured. And learning how to manipulate my body became very important because I was not as big as some of the people I was training with. So putting on a little bit of weight, right? Putting on a little bit of size, as well as learning how to make myself heavier or lighter and manipulate my own body was very important. I learned from a very early start. I wasn't the most athletic getting into wrestling, but training, 3, 4, 5 days a week has made me that. And it was with years of repetition in the ring that I was able to craft this level of athleticism. The in-ring persona, right, Ophidian, isn't so much a persona for me as it is me. I am Ophidian in every sense of the word. I live masked in public. I eat, sleep, and breathe Ophidian. I show up everywhere. I perform not only in the ring, but in real life as Ophidian the Cobra. It is who I am. And I also love G.I. Joe, guys. As you'll be able to tell. I'll show the people at home. I love G.I. Joe so much that here I have a set of Nikes with the G.I. Joe logo on them.
That's amazing indeed. That really is amazing. So maybe next question from Billy Clark. What do you think is the next stop for Portuguese wrestling?
The scene is slowly growing here as I'm learning, right? And as you've had guest stars in the past, like Pete Dunne, like Jigsaw, like Paul London, and in the future I know you're going to have another Chikara performer, Frightmare, on the shows. And I think that's an important place, is having people that can help educate Portuguese performers on how the rest of the world also does it, so that you guys can grow beyond the borders of Portugal. Right? So you can grow within this scene here, but the way that you get the world's attention is by learning what they do and knowing how to adapt your style without losing the identity of the Portuguese people and the Portuguese culture and the way that you guys perform, but learning how to adapt it so that the rest of the world wants to see it as well and understands it. And I think you guys are doing a really good job at that with the guys that you're bringing in and the education that you're allowing yourself to absorb. And I think continuing that path is the way to grow Portugal, and how you guys will be accessed by the rest of the world.
Okay, this is some sort of question from myself. What is the next step for Ophidian after this European tour?
I've got some unfinished business back at home in Chikara, which I'm going to be handling very soon. But I think that really the next step is finding out how I can grow as a trainer and continue to do it at a level like this, but on a larger scale. Now, not only just helping the people that I train with back at home in Philadelphia in the USA, but learning how I can do so throughout Europe, throughout places like this in Denmark and Spain, and do so regularly, so that I can help the scene grow just as much as the scene wants to grow. Okay. You know, like you guys are desperate for knowledge, you guys are desperate for growth, right? To become larger, to grow not only the audiences, but to grow yourselves as performers. And that makes me as a performer coming into a place like this want to grow myself. Because when you surround yourself with people that are hungry, right, it ignites a hunger within yourself as well. And I love that. I like that. I live for that. I live for that experience and that growth. You're never done learning yourself. Absolutely. You're never done training. Mm-hmm. And the way I still learn on a regular basis is by being around people that are hungry, people that want to learn, because you learn new things about yourself as you're learning to teach and adapt what you do to work with performers from around the world. And you're learning how to communicate in a new way, which means that when you're in front of the audience, right, you have new tools to work with in front of them. I think is the next step, going into next year, learning or figuring out how I can do this on a larger scale with everybody. Okay,
maybe it'll be our last questions. We've got 23 minutes of interview. That's quite a few minutes. Let's maybe get to this one from Aaron Stone. You must be getting up there in age, being a veteran of pro wrestling. Any update on a possible retirement or continue to develop talent?
There's no retirement in sight, friend. At least that I can think of it. Barring an injury, of course. I'll probably be in a ring until I die. Okay. As far as life goes, and not necessarily in front of the camera, but even behind the scenes. I don't think there'll ever be a time in my life that I don't, in some way, have an involvement in professional wrestling, because I work behind the scenes. For some of you that know a little more about what I do, I also edit video and create content for Chikara and other aspects of professional wrestling. I create Ring Shape as well, which is my YouTube series that teaches you how we get ourselves ready for in-ring action. So there's always a place for me, whether it's in front of a camera in a ring or in front of the camera at the studios, essentially. But as far as in-ring performances go, I'm not slowing down. I'm only getting better with age.
Okay, just like
wine.
Yeah, the port wine, as I was about to say, gets better with age. Okay, so now for your last question that a lot of people want to know. What can we expect from Ophidian tomorrow? What can the fans expect from Ophidian for tomorrow?
The fans of Portugal can expect to see something they've never seen before. I can promise you that. My snake style, my version of lucha libre, mixes martial arts with American pro wrestling and lucha. And it's a style that I know only exist within me. So you're going to see something unique. You're going to see something different. You're going to see something that is awe-inspiring. You're going to see something that is breathtaking and captivating. Here in this ring that's right behind us, I know you guys can see it on camera. And not just that, you're going to have a good time. I promise you, you're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to be happy. You might be a little sad as we, I don't know if you announced the match already.
What match for
tomorrow?
For tomorrow, well, the match is on. David Curl, the boss, set it up. It's supposed to be a tag team, okay? In which Leo Rossi and Red Eagle choose their own partners. Leo Rossi has chosen A-Buck from the French company APC as a 2 meter tall, 7 feet tall, 7 foot.
He's a large gentleman, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably the largest gentleman in all of France.
Perhaps, who knows? And so, I mean, it's only left to Red Eagle to choose his partner, you know.
And I say you might be a little sad, you might be happy, you might run the gamut of emotions, because I've seen what happened to Red Eagle.
Yes.
Right? What Leo Rossi did to him. It's uncalled for. It was unnecessary, right? It went above and beyond what we do here in the ring, right?
Of course.
He wasn't even involved in the match
Yeah.
that he came out and he injured Red Eagle in. So I'm throwing my hat out to Red Eagle. Don't throw my name in the hat. I'd love to help out Red Eagle.
Yeah.
And handle Leo Rossi.
I mean, this is breaking. It's breaking news, okay? Are you sure?
I'd absolutely love to.
You would love to, or you are going to help Red Eagle?
Beyond
We need some
loving
certainty.
to. I'm going to be the one to help. There you go. I'll be the one to help Red Eagle.
God damn, this is breaking news. You are going to fight Leo Rossi and A-Buck on the main event of tomorrow. Are you? Is this certain?
Red Eagle can count on me to show up when it's time to go.
So it's set. It's a tag team between Ophidian and Red Eagle versus A-Buck and Leo Rossi for revenge after the attacks of Friday and Sunday. So this is going to be great, guys. My goodness. Ophidian really is a box of surprises.
Yeah, you could
Jesus.
say I'm a box of a can of snakes.
All right, so it's bound to be great, isn't it? Mr. Ophidian, thank you so much for this interview. I think our fans will be seeing you tomorrow on the main event of our show.
Tomorrow, live in Lisbon, Portugal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.